Thank you. The reason for Kung Fu Panda used to be green belt training I was in, where one of the trainers mentioned kata, and he was performing like what kata is, which is a technique to strive to perfection, which is nice because perfection is never there. You can always strive to perfection. But it was a guy like this. He was built like, and I had the image of Kung Fu Panda. My kids now are looking at Kung Fu Panda Part 3 or so, and every time I look at the movie, I think about Lean. And Chris van der Kade, but you don't know him, so it doesn't matter. So, Rabobank, we are a bank, just like ING, and we used to be, we're kind of large, but not everywhere. We're mainly pretty large in the Netherlands. We want to be the market leader in all finance in the Netherlands, and mainly have an ambition to be for agricultural environments in the rest of the world. Want to be one of the empowering organizations over there, because it's like banking for food, we call it. So in the Netherlands, we're large, and we have a problem. We used to be 150 banks in the Netherlands. We're just one nowadays. And I will tell you why, and I will tell you why it relates to this story. Who has been in a bank the last 3 months? Who has been in a bank for something else than to show his passport, a mortgage, or doing something for his business? Just, yeah. What was yours? I worked there. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, but not at the desk, do you? No, no. Almost no one. No one comes in the bank anymore. We used to have 750 locations. I used to be the manager of the distributed networking department. We used to have 750 locations. It's offices. We have an office in Steendam. There is about 100 people living there. It's open on Wednesday and Friday, and the glass fiber line that KPN put there especially for us costs us about 1,000 euros per month. So imagine the business case. Yeah. Nobody's coming there. Oh, that question I already asked. So everything is available online. Yeah. And on the other hand, regulatory. Oh, I clicked too much. But did you know that Apple introduced Apple Pay, and they became the largest mobile payment service provider in the United States within 1 week? Yeah. So about innovation power, yeah, they are taking us over. The European Payment Service Directive demands ING and Rabobank and all the other banks within Europe to put their transactions protocols available through APIs, which means that you can manage your transaction from Rabobank within the ING app, or in the Google app, or Facebook app, or whoever. Google is a bank already. They have a banking license in the United States, as goes for Facebook. So we're in danger. We're in threat. Yeah, regulatory environments is tightening. Well, with a bit of shame. Yeah, please bear with me. This is really painful. I can't go to a party anymore and be proud about working at Rabobank. And the effect is that the regulatory environment is tightening. The effect is that our tier 1 capital ratio, which means our own money on the balance, yeah, is not high enough for our own, compared to the total wealth we have. The problem is, there's just a few ways we can improve our tier 1 ratio. It's improving our profit, which is kind of undoable, but it's an ambition. But we need to go from 2.7 billion a year to 4 billion a year within the next 2 years. So, yeah, it's a challenge. We need to cut cost, or we need to small our balance, which means that we just sold the Lage Landen, which gains 25% of our profit. So we are heard. We really are heard. Basel III is not the only one. There's more. We need to change. This is really our headquarters. It used to be on fire. 2 times. So, I stole something from Jess Humble. It's the essence of DevOps, is holding people responsible for the consequences of their actions. I think that's really important. At this moment, I can do everything within the organization, and the effect will be visible within 3 months, and I'll be gone. Yeah, or my manager does put a target but doesn't follow up on the consequences or on the achievement of the goals. So a DevOps team has the healthy tendency to pull everything that's within their circle of responsibility within their circle of influence. So the effect is, from my perspective, delivering a hosting environment within the Rabobank, that all the development teams come to me and say, I need more credentials, I need ownership. I want to do the infra myself. I want root, they tell me. I've been 2 months ago, I've been in a room with 20 people of my own team, explaining why it was a good thing to give away root to a team, because they needed time to market and they wanted responsibility. Problem is, if it goes wrong, they call us. So we're not there yet. So, we got an assignment. I got an assignment. Frans Vogt, who's there, also in the room, somewhere there. Yeah, we got an assignment. Build a platform on which the development teams can do their things. So, and which is, we want to go to DevOps. Yeah, development is, of course, including run. Yeah. Fun thing is, I held this part of this slide I used before. We stated that everything is already there. We just needed to connect the dots. So, better efficiency, agility, you know the drill. That's all the promises, of course. Our first focus, you can't do everything at once. I wanted to start at ZOS, but they didn't allow me to. Then we have 3 pillars. That's a platform. Repeatable platform. It's on-demand self-service. It's based on all. This is just the NIST principles of cloud. Yeah, you can use it for conventional systems as well. Yeah, just use the mindset and the tools of all the cloud environments. You can still have use it, but we can now. We already have it sort of live as a minimum viable product for a small group of users. We can deliver not only a repeatable environment, but we can give it to people, allowing them to do whatever they want within version management without touching the system. Hands-off infrastructure, including load balancer, MQ, whatever. We're still building on it because not all the APIs are there, but well, the minimum product is with MQ and load balancers, and that were the 2 largest sources of wait time. So I'm happy. Just ship the product. Second part, a toolchain, which is the repeatable infrastructure, redeployable infrastructure, of course. It's repeatable application deployment. Well, you heard the advertisements and the experiences with the tools at this moment. A generic process where we're using Excel release and all the other components like Jenkins and whatever you want, Sonar, and yeah. And of course, the feedback loop. Without the feedback loop, you still can't be held responsible for your action. We have tools for that, but we have many tools. One of the implementations that's done under my supervision is implementation of Splunk, but there's other things as well. What you want to give the results of going live and the call center that's being called afterwards back to the business. If we're able to do that on a technical basis within a dashboard, we're 10 years ahead from now. Takes the time. Third part, we need a new mindset. And this is about out of control at Rabobank. We need a new mindset. We're in control at Rabobank. Don't worry, your money is safe with us. But yeah, the problem is, yeah, if we give away root, they will probably screw up. Yeah, that's the meaning of it. That's intended. It's not a problem if people create errors. If they don't create errors, they're not able to learn. So, traditional. I deliver a compliant system to you. I will take care that it will stay compliant. I will therefore take care that you have no use whatsoever from the system, because every change you make to it, yeah, I will correct automatically within 5 minutes. If it's not in version management, if you want to do something that's not within the standard, yeah, you have a problem. I want 100% standardized functions, services that are 100% open. That's what it's about. It's about giving self-service and giving away control. So, manual task, wait times. Don't make the mistake, we'll do it for you. No problem. We have an example that we have a DTA process for Oracle scripts going live, but they were not allowed to change things in the production environment. So there was a handover to the infrastructural department because they have the credentials, the possibility to implement those scripts. Well, and they didn't create the scripts, so they couldn't interpret what the scripts were all about and if they were going well or not. And when there was an incident, which was almost always, yeah, there was always a quarrel. So you shouldn't do that. If you do something one way in DTA, do it the same way in production, because you're doing it every hour in your development environment. So you tested it already. Don't show to your regulatory organization that you're in control in production. You need to be in control in your development environment and do it the same way on the other side. So, if you want your children to learn how to bike, because there's the bridge, yeah, you must be prepared to let them fall. That's what it's all about. So for my people, if we want to give self-service, then we must be prepared that they will make mistakes. And that's no problem, yeah? But there's just a few things. We don't want to have them driving, well, on the crossroads with about 5 cars coming their way. And so we must prevent some things. How to do that? I really looked it up, thuisonderwijs.nl. Yeah? How to teach your child to ride a bike. Yeah? You need a motivated child. We'll go through them. Yeah? And just, I'll use it as a metaphor, but it almost fits. So if it doesn't fit, you can laugh at me or whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah. This is a pretty important statement. If you push your child to go cycling, I have my oldest is now 8. He started cycling at 2.5, and he did it within a day. And we have such a, we call it a wadi, which is a hole in the grass, and it's meant for filling all the rain. So being filled up with all the rain, and afterwards it will drain to the open water. First thing he did, once he knew how it worked, was drive through it. No problem. My youngest one is 5, and he can just cycle for 2 months. He is less stable. We think he has an eyesight problem, so we don't know, but he just started cycling. We forced him a few times, and he didn't want for 3 months anymore. He didn't even want to try anymore. He didn't want to look at the bike. So don't force them, because it will make them scared. You need to prepare. Find a motivated child. Yeah, we have some. We started with, of course, like everyone does, with online. There are a few more. The mortgage department with our organization is pretty, they can do a one-click deploy to production from one single line of code. And they're also joining. But at this moment, we found a motivated child, the most important one in the online environment, which is our portal environment. So, then, Buy protection. Of course, you need a helmet, you need a bike. We set up a multi-tenant environment, which means that if they create an error, they can hurt themselves. Yeah, but not somebody else. We have a challenge with the authorization setup. Don't tell me you don't have. Yeah, because your authorization setup is meant for the strict separation of dev and ops and infrastructure. Yeah, and if you don't reorganize your LDAP environment, you're toast. Yeah, give it attention. And dummy-proof automation. These standard administrators all have a script library for their own work. But if you ask them to share it with somebody else, they say, well, it's not there yet. I can use it because I know what it does, but I don't cooperate with you, they say. Find a safe place. Yeah? So, not too close near my car. Yeah? I use the street in front of my house. We have a dead-end street, so no problem, no cars, no parking spaces. But what we did, we built a sandbox environment. The system only lives 7 days. It will be auto-removed. If you want to keep your results of your work, yeah, use version management. Use your build server. Yeah? And you can, okay, we have a delay of another 7 days, but then it's gone. Yeah. Fun thing is, everybody wants freedom. So the benefit of freedom is still larger, yeah, than this problem for them. So they start building it, and the usual developer knows how Git works, so that's no problem. But there are others that still have to learn. Yeah. We have temporary system, no support level. They say, they really said, I needed to convince my own people. Yeah, they don't want support levels. They want freedom. Throw it away. They want to practice. They want to build code. And now we have somebody, even though the server is not live yet, not large scale live yet, that produced code in Ansible to create Docker environments for everybody to use. So they're sharing their knowledge and their lessons, which is very nice. Even included a video how to work with it and how to improve it. So, run with them. Sit next to them. Listen. Your service is not okay at this moment. Yeah? It helps me, as being a father, it helped me to feel if my youngest was ready. Second one, well, I felt he wasn't ready yet. But it helps. For us, it helps that we know what the challenges are, and if they're ready or need more help or need more convincing or need a larger square where they really can't hurt any cars. Supply examples. Just models of if we build a WordPress site. It's simple. One server, MySQL on it. It's easy, but you need a runbook for it, and that runbook is in version management, and it has a file system that is also in the same script that. And they can look at it and say, well, I don't need WordPress. I needed something with Java and WebSphere. But they learn how a good runbook is working. So, supply examples, sit next to them. Rewrite your documentation. At this moment, everyone is used to writing documentation for their own group. Yeah? But now you're writing documentation for your real users, which are then the internal users, but it's the same as writing, well, we built a new app, yeah? How do you want and can you use it? That's the same. It's a mindset from an operations point of view, or for an administrator's point of view, has never been there. There's how to create a file system. If I'm discussing the quality of documentation with my people, they say, well, I'm not going to write down how to create a file system. They must be able to know that. They must have a minimum level of experience. Of course, they must. Yeah, but we have typical setups within Rabobank, yeah, that you need to document. And the problem is, if you want to give it that way to your users, well, they may probably make an error. So you want to automate it in a way that that documentation is not necessary anymore because they won't read. So create document that doesn't need to be read. Okay, if you've done all that, stay improving because your kata is never ready. Yeah, kata always is nice. Yeah, and then take the leap of faith. I pushed my youngest son. I pushed my oldest son. Sorry, I stopped my youngest son. Yeah, but take the leap of faith. If you don't let go, then then they will never grow up. At this moment, we do have this, kind of cool new Linux servers, but my people are still not there that they can let go of all the entitlements they have now and give them to their customers, their internal customers. They need to let go. So that's persuasion, that's trust, this story I'm going to give it in my own department as well, because if they don't start acting like parents, they will never let go of their child. That's it.